What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Slice of TV, our TV review show where we sit down and we talk about our favorite TV shows. This week, we're talking about episode 5 of Dexter New Blood, Runaway. Joining me, as always, is the wonderful Angela from DNA Gaming. Welcome back, as always.
Thank you.
If
for having me back.
Oh, of course. This has been a lot of fun the last 4 weeks. And after today, I can't wait to talk about this one.
Oh my gosh.
Right? So, if you're just tuning in for the first time, we start off with spoilers of the episode. Spoiler-free, of the episode. Yeah, we don't start off with spoilers. We start off spoiler-free. And then, after that, we'll let you all know when we get into spoilers. And then we spoil the shit out of this episode. But you guys will be warned so that if you haven't seen it, you can tune off, go check it out, and then come back and check out the show. So, Runaway, episode 5. We are halfway, as far as I know, there's 10 episodes of this show. So we are halfway through Dexter New Blood, and I'm so sad that we're already at this point. But we're going to talk about what we thought of the episode, spoiler-free, starting with Angela. What did you think of this?
I didn't think I could like this episode more than the last, but the more it went, the better it got. Except for I hate Molly more now.
She's just awful.
Than I did before. Like, complete no.
Right. Yeah, she sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, she's something.
Yeah, I remember saying in the beginning of last week's episode that I thought she was okay, and then like as I was talking about her later on in that episode, I was like, oh god, her podcast sucks. It's a really bad true crime podcast. I was bashing that one hardcore. And she just continues to just suck. She's just like, to me, she puts herself out there as like a rich, spoiled brat who just does this because she can. Like she's like well off because of, probably not the podcast, but you never know. There's really no backstory to her. She's just kind of here. She's kind of a pointless character. I feel like she's like, if you took her out of this show, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, she could do something later on in the show that could be like, oh, okay, now I understand why she's here, but she's just here.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We got a pleasant surprise in this episode, and I cannot wait to talk about that.
That's what my screaming in the message was for.
You saw it, you were like, ah!
Yes.
I'm so excited. No, but yeah, I'm excited to talk about that. And of course, the ending of this episode is just absolutely bonkers, and it just, again, it ends something. It ends, and it's just like, yep, that's it, guys. That's it. That's all you get. You got to wait another week, which to me makes good television. Because we know this is a good show, meaning, and it's a one-off. At least that's what they say as of right now. This is a one-season show. This is a kind of to help ease the minds of Dexter fans who were disappointed with the final season of the original series. So this is, they can do that type of stuff. They can leave you hanging because you're going to come back. You're going to come back and see what's coming up. Though the relationship between Dexter and Harrison is very interesting in this. The absolute roller coaster of a life that Harrison is living. Like he's trying to make up for something, or I don't know what the hell's going on with this kid. Just a lot. And we get to see firsthand the in the flesh, the full flesh of what Kurt's up to.
Yeah.
What is Kurt up to? Yeah. We're gonna get into that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's as much spoiler free as we can give you. We can't really dive into anything too crazy without spoiling stuff. So we're gonna let you know now. Sorry, I'm trying to put on my slippers, so if I'm looking like I'm just doing some crazy shit over here, it's because
fixing the chair.
I have to record in the basement. It's quite chilly down here, so I got to put on some comfy footwear.
I got my blanket because it's cold.
And yeah, so if ever, so we're gonna be jumping into spoilers. So if you haven't watched episode 5 of Dexter New Blood, make sure to go check it out, and then come back and check out our video, or it is on audio podcast services. So go check those out. All right, you ready? Spoilers coming. There's your alarm. All right. Holy shit. This episode was bonkers. Just so much going on. You get to see firsthand what Kurt's up to. Like, we know what he was up to, but we got to see everything.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. Just, whew. What did we think of that?
Because we were tossed up between him and Olsen.
Mm-hmm.
And I was for certain it was Olsen. And you were for certain it was Kurt. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was in the middle. I was like, I had the theory that they're working together. Like they were doing some weird shit together. The two rich guys of the town getting together and doing some weird shit.
And now Olsen's he's just gone. Like,
yeah,
where's he been?
Another character was like, all right, why were you here? But we still have 5 episodes left of the show, so who knows? Maybe these characters we're calling useless right now, they might be something, more important down the road. But this episode starts off pretty crazy. It's, of course, picks up right after episode 4, like right after it. Dexter finds the razor that Harrison had, and he's having this inner dialogue, of course, with Deb about what to do with it. Is he going to confront Harrison? Dexter's falling down this rabbit hole of he's turning into me. He's going to become what I am. And, and of course, Deb is all against doing anything about this. Just leave it alone. What Harry did to you was fucked up. You need to just leave this alone because yes, he will become you if you keep pushing it. But of course, in Dexter's mind, it's something that's hereditary, which that's not how this works. It's not how, stuff works, but that's what he thinks. He thinks that he has passed down this dark passenger onto Harrison. But in reality, I feel that Harrison's just had a shitty life to an extent. So yeah, that whole thing is crazy. But then we see Kurt bringing this girl Chloe, who we saw at the end of episode 4, to the cabin, the infamous cabin. He tells her she can stay as long as she wants. She's very excited, of course, because she can take a shower. It's a very nice room. He's like, all meals are on me, blah, blah, blah. And that it's not going to end well for Chloe.
Yeah, because she says, I could fucking die and go to heaven. I said, well.
Yeah. I was waiting for him to say something like under his breath as he walked out of the room.
Yeah.
Because she was away, so she couldn't hear him. But I was like, oh, what a line. So, yeah, then we cut back to the cabin. Dexter is questioning Harrison about Harrison comes home and Dexter has the switch, the razor, and he asks about it. And he continues to question Harrison about the events of the day when he was supposedly attacked by Ethan. And he's just trying to get Harrison to confess to what exactly happened. But Harrison is a smart kid. He's sticking to his story, and Dexter's kind of digging himself a hole because everybody in the town thinks Harrison is this big hero, but the only person who doesn't seem to believe him is his own father, who hasn't been around for 10 years or however long. It's a weird situation. I feel like this is just showing how very socially awkward Dexter is, and he just he hasn't been a parent in a decade. he's trying to figure it all out again. And even throughout the entire episode, he's trying to justify that he's a good father. I'm a great father. Like when he's got that guy in the slab and he's like, what kind of father would, do something like this? He's like, I'm a great fucking father. And I'm just like, all right, dude, I think you're trying to justify something because you're feeling so guilty on what you think Harrison is becoming.
Yeah. And before this is where they find out Matt is staying in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And Molly convinces Angela to go look for him.
Yeah. And then she goes, oh, and there's also like a police conference.
Yeah, a missing persons conference or something like that.
Yes. So it was a good thing to do. But man, she was just so eager to go with this girl, with Molly. And
but her line where she's like, Logan comes in and he's like, oh, Matt's been staying in a hotel, and she's like, makes some comment, and he's like, what's wrong? She's like, no dead guy, no podcast. And she's like, oh yeah,
he's alive. But also the fact where she has to tell, what's the cop's name?
Which one?
The prominent one throughout this whole episode.
Angela.
No, the deputy.
Oh, Logan.
She has to tell Logan that she has another guy, that she's only, like, she tells him this whole thing about that, and it's like, he doesn't care. Like, I don't think he wanted to be in a relationship anyways. But yeah.
Yes.
So, of course, after Harrison and Dexter kind of have this little fight about, Dexter not trusting him, he just leaves and he's sitting outside, and that's when Zach and the Goonies, I actually shouldn't even call him that because I feel like that's disrespectful to the Goonies. Zach and the Cronies. And Zach, we talked about this. Zach is played by Oscar Wahlberg, the nephew of Mark Wahlberg, and boy, is he a Wahlberg. If somebody told me he was Mark Wahlberg's son, I'd believe it in a heartbeat, because this dude is a Wahlberg through and through. No offense to the Wahlbergs, but he is. It's like, what kind of role can we put a Wahlberg in as his like first role? Let's just put him as a douchey high schooler. Like, that's like perfect. That's what he is.
I mean, he fits well.
He does, 100%. So they tell Harrison that there's a party going on and that Harrison should come because he's the hero and people want to see him. He is going to be the man of the hour. So they go to this party, and it's a party just of the people that were on Ethan's kill list, which is fucked up.
Welcome to the kill list party.
Right. And I feel like you really get some vibes that Harrison doesn't want to be there when he finds this out, but he's just he's like in such a weird situation because like he doesn't want to go home because Dexter's there, because they're he feels that Dexter doesn't trust him. And he doesn't want to be here because I feel like we talked about last week, even though he did what he did to Ethan, he still feels bad about it. He didn't do it out of something where he was like, he felt good. Like, he felt good that he stopped this kid from potentially doing more harm, but he still feels guilty because, Ethan was fucked up because of the bullies. So, of course, he goes there. He feels bad. He runs into Audrey. They have a little conversation. You definitely can feel some chemistry. Like, they both have feelings for each other, but they just won't do anything about it. I'm like, I'm waiting for it. I'm like, when is this happening? When are we going to get this? But I like Audrey a lot. And this actress, Johnny Sequoia, she's fantastic. I think she plays off a very strong woman, and it's awesome. I love it. And it definitely shows because her mom, Angela is definitely probably the strongest character of this whole show. And man, Dexter at first gets some drugs from a girl who just walks up to him and makes out with him because he saved his life.
Hero.
Yeah. She gives him some, was it LSD or Oxy or what does she give him? She gives him ecstasy. And then he gets some weird shit later. But he takes that and then he's drinking a lot. So it's all, you get a lot of shots of just, it's one of those focus shots. So how they usually do this type of shots is they'll attach a camera to the actor that goes around their face and it just focuses on their face. So when they're moving, it's just a very nauseating shot, but it's supposed to make you feel like how Harrison feels in that moment. Like if you were, I mean, I've never done drugs, but could only imagine when you take something like, ecstasy and drink a lot of booze, you're going to get like that. So it's very focused on his face.
I like that shot, even though it is supposed to be disorienting. It definitely got the point across.
Oh yeah.
Of what he was feeling.
Mm-hmm. And he goes up to this, these two girls that are, while he's in this stay, these two girls ask him, one of the girls asks him to carve his initial into her freaking ankle so that she can remember her hero. I was like, is this just like his imagination coming up with this?
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh gosh, he's going to do this. And then
something bad's
they're going to start screaming at him like he wasn't supposed to be doing this.
Yeah. And of course, he goes in to try to start it and he cuts her and she's like, oh, it hurts. It's like, well, you asked for it, dummy. And of course, he's completely gone. Like he is no coming back from this. He then, which is funny because nothing happens from that. Like nothing comes of that situation. You think like something's like, she's going to get pissed off at him and get mad and like something bad's going to happen. No, it just her goes, ow. And then her friend just brings her off screen. Yeah. They do their thing. But then he goes and meets up with one of the other. I can't remember what this kid's name is. All I know is Zach is the leader of this group, and it's one of his friends. And he gives Harrison. Oh, what did he give Harrison? It was like a knockoff, like Oxycontin.
It was supposed to be Oxy.
Yeah, and it was some like knockoff, like really serious shit. Well, he takes it. Of course, and Audrey kind of sees it happen, and she kind of and she confronts Harrison, and he passes out or ODs. And by the time and she freaks out, calls the police, and the crazy thing is like she called the police, so she called like Logan comes. We don't need paramedics. What were the paramedics?
They carry Narcan for that reason.
The cops do? Is that a normal thing? Okay.
Yep.
I don't follow the procedures of law enforcement.
I don't know if it's because they normally get there first. The paramedics carry it too, but cops carry it to give it as the reversal of the overdose.
Okay. So, yeah, Logan comes, he gives him Narcan, and he comes to, he says he's fine. He gets taken to the hospital. Before all this happens, we see Dexter go to the bar, and he's talking to the bartender, and that's when Kurt comes in. He's all happy, and Dexter's very confused, still confused onto why is he so happy? Why is this guy as giddy as can be? And she says that it happens every so often. He'll come in and he plays the same song in the jukebox, which is called Runaway, which is the name of this episode. We actually heard the song 2 episodes before, when we get, which we find out is Kurt hunting the first girl that he locks in the cabin. He plays, that's the song that plays while she's, she runs away. The whole point. But yeah, so he comes into the bar, he plays that song, he dances with the bartender. It's the same thing that happens every few weeks. And so then the party happens, Dexter goes to the hospital, and he has a little bit of a confrontation with Logan, because Logan is trying to be a cop. He's trying to be somebody who cares. And Dexter is kind of just, I feel he's in this weird state where he doesn't know how to feel. But he gets very like aggressive with Logan. He's like, you're a junior varsity wrestling coach. Like, you're not a parent. So get the hell out of my face. And
but Harrison slips up at the party.
Right. We missed.
Not in the way that I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was gonna, get drunk and say that he attacked Ethan.
Yeah.
I was not expecting him to say that Jim's not
his dad's
his
name.
real name. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, Harrison's in a very bad state. And yeah, I mean, he could have said anything. He literally could have said anything. But I think the reason he says what he says is because he had just gotten into the fight with Dexter and he was really pissed off at him. So it was the first thing that kind of pops into his head. He tells Audrey that Jim Lindsay is not his dad's real name, but he doesn't tell her what it is. He just says that it's not his real name. And then that's when he passes out. Dexter goes to the hospital, finds out that the drug that was used was some like knockoff oxy that if taken in certain doses could kill you. So it's really bad.
Fentanyl.
Yep.
It's really bad.
Yep.
Really bad.
And
it's not supposed to be ingested.
We get so Logan, they find a name to investigate this kid or to investigate who is the one who's distributing it. Dexter brings Harrison home. He pretty much tells him that he cannot leave the cabin. He's going to therapy and all that. So Dexter's idea is, I'm going to kill this kid. I'm going to kill the guy who distributed the drugs. So he prepares himself. He goes to visit the town vet, who is in the middle of operating on a cow. And he's like, I need this, this, and this. And she's like, take whatever you want. Okay.
Yeah.
This
I'll
dude.
bill you later.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, doctor, whatever your name is. So we find out that this guy, he goes to this bar that this kid usually distributes at. Now, I say kid because this guy looks like a kid. He goes to the bar, he's scoping it out, and he pretty much plays it off like he wants some product. The kid brings him outside to his car, and that's when he was going to knock him out and do the normal Dexter thing. Because so it was funny because he grabs it was a ketamine, which is the stuff that knocks people out. And then he grabbed some syringes, and he saw she had rolls of plastic. And he grabbed some rolls of plastic, and I was like, yeah, classic Dexter kill rooms coming up. So he's got this whole plan put out, but as he injects him, or at least sticks the syringe in him, that's when Logan pulls up. And boy, Logan always showing up at the wrong time, because he shows up, and that's when Dexter has to kind of flip the script and pretend like he found the guy to beat the shit out of him. So he beats him up, tells him to stay away from his kid, blah, blah, blah. Logan tells him he's got to go to the police station to do a statement or whatever. He goes, we go back to Molly and Angela at the hotel, where they ask the hotel clerk if they remember seeing this guy, Matt Caldwell, check out. He says he checked out at like 12:30. They need their tapes reviewed. Angela, again, is a badass, because the guy's like, we can't do that. It's against, the privacy of our guests. And she's like, well, I got some friends who can come down here and make your life a living hell. So you either do this or I do that. And he's like, oh, okay. So
out that badge.
Yeah. And so they leave. And we go back to the police station where Logan is interrogating this kid. I don't remember what the first kid's name was. I know the second guy. Miles. Okay. And then the second guy was Jasper Hodge. Jasper. So Logan is actually pretty much a badass too. Like, he interrogates this kid, asks some things. He's trying to talk about a lawyer, and he pretty much ignores everything he's saying and gets into, tell him, who is the guy who makes this. And he pretty much tells him, like, there have been 18 kids that have died from the drugs that you have distributed. So if either you can be charged with 18 counts of murder, or you tell me who made this stuff. And he tells him, it's a gentleman by the name of Jasper Hodge. So they got a name. And Dexter, of course, is there. He kind of eavesdrops on that. And he sneakily gets the address to this Jasper Hodge. We go back to the conference. So Angela and Molly aren't just there for Matt Caldwell, but they're there for a missing persons police conference thing. And they go inside, and guess who the freaking head speaker is of this conference? But the captain of the Miami-Dade Police Department, Sergeant Angel Batista. Oh my God.
I'm like, uh-oh.
David Zayas is back from I said captain, then I said sergeant. No, he's the captain, not the sergeant anymore. He's the captain of the police of the original spot there from the original series. But yeah, the Angel Batista's back. And he's, he does his old conference thing talking about missing persons. And then afterwards, Angel and Angela meet because she wants to talk to him about, her situation. And of course, he sees a attractive woman and tries to hit on her in a weird way. And then she pretty much is like, yeah, fuck you. I got a boyfriend. I was like, why did we have to make him that way? He wasn't like that in the original series. He wasn't that like creepy. Oh man, whatever. It was kind of, that kind of threw me off. I love this guy. I love Batista, but that whole thing was like, why did they have to do that? But so he asks her about what's going on, and she explains everything that's happening. And he talks about how there was a similar case years ago that it was the Trinity Killer. Of course, we get our second Trinity Killer talk in this series. He talks about, and she asks like who was involved. He talks about Deb Morgan and how she kind of had was the one who had the same feelings that Angela has about her whole situation. And she's like, oh, well, why can't, can we talk to her? And he's like, yeah, she's dead. And her brother's dead too. And of course, he talks about, he had a really cute kid. But he was trying to think of his name. And as he walks away, he turns around. He's like, oh, Harrison, cute kid. And then walks away, and you're like, oh shit. Because even the look on her face, she was like, this is very, very interesting.
Yeah. I have uh-oh in capitals. I said, this could be bad.
Mm-hmm. We go back to the bunker where Chloe's being held. And, she is banging on the door because there's no door handle. And that's when she notices the camera that says you're already dead underneath it. And we then first time we cut up to Kurt watching the live feed as he's eating something. But so she is, she's kind of, she knows what's going on. And then she does like a striptease for him. And he does not like this one fucking bit. So she literally starts stripping down naked, and he flips out. Like he's trying to tell, he's like, this is not what this is about. This is not why you're here. And, she's still doing it. And he slams the computer shut, and he's flipping out. It's a weird situation. I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? I was very confused.
Yeah, it was a different situation.
Mm-hmm. And so Dexter has to. Oh wait, no. Then we get so Kurt goes into. He tells Chloe that she's free to go.
Just had an epiphany.
Oh yeah.
For the end of the episode.
Oh,
our predictions. Oh, it just hit me.
So Kurt tells Chloe she's free to go, and she says, "You come make me," because I feel like she has a plan to kind of force herself out of there. He gets in there, he drags her out, and he is ready to go, and he, tells her to run because he's, his whole thing is he's hunting these girls. He's literally doing this as a sport.
And she swipes at him with her glass that she found.
Right.
Piece of glass she found in her pillow.
Yep. He tells her, he keeps telling her to run, and she refuses to run. Instead of running away, she runs straight at him. And but right before he shoots her in the face, he says, "This is not how it's supposed to be," and blasts her right in the eye, and then gets really pissed off and pretty much telling her she fucked everything up, and shoots her again, and then starts crying. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah. I mean, you've already said, he said, "Run, bitch, run or I'll kill you."
Oh, man.
It's like, why are you so mad? But then she foils your plan and you have to cry like a little baby.
Mm-hmm. We find out the gentleman at the hotel was not Matt Colwell. It was somebody who was using his credit cards. So another question of why would Kurt lie about Matt being alive? We get Dexter sneaking into Jasper's house, getting ready to end that guy's life. He gets him, has his kill room set up, and of course, what the fuck happens right before he's gonna finish the job? Logan shows up, and I love it where he looks at them. He's like, "Fucking Logan." So instead of killing him the old Dexter way, he has to make it look like an overdose. So he literally just fucking pours a whole thing of cocaine down in this man's nose. At least that's what I think it is.
It was some kind of powder.
It was
like,
either coke or heroin. It was a drug that killed this man. So,
Yeah.
and he has to, and he sets him up in a chair to make it look like he OD'd. So when the cops discover him, that's what it looks like. And Jeepers Creepers. This episode was just everywhere. Oh, it was just so much going on in this episode. And not in a bad way either. This episode it was just a lot happening. We find Harrison, of course, he left home. He's running away from home again. And he runs into Kurt. And we get the thing where he asks Kurt, like, "Hey, what happened to your face?"
Yep.
And also,
accident.
Yep. They go inside to the diner. He buys Harrison a meal. He offers him a job. He tells him about, like, this is these fights that you're having with your father, this is going to blow over. This isn't something that's going to be, you need to make sure that this isn't a long-term thing, because you want to have that type of relationship. And, Harrison is always questioning everybody. He's like, "Just listen to me. I'm going to give you advice because I've been on this earth longer than you." So I'm taking it Harrison took the job. You don't really get any, like,
I'm assuming.
Yeah, really don't hear anything about it. And we then, Dexter comes home. Harrison's there. He asks him about therapy, which he probably never went to. And you know what the whole day was about? Angela and oh no, we already saw the Matt Caldwell thing.
Mm-hmm.
Angela oh, sorry, go ahead.
And no, I was just gonna say Angela comes home at this time and was hugging Audrey and telling her that she saved Harrison's life, not to be sad.
Mm-hmm. And that's when Audrey tells Angela about the little slip up that Harrison said right before he passed out, something about how Jim Lindsay isn't his real name. And that's when it kind of, like, Angela had that feeling when she heard Angel say it, like, talk about Harrison or a Harrison. But so she literally looks up Dexter Morgan on her computer and prints out a obituary, and of course it shows his face, and it's Jim Lindsay. So, and that's where it ends. That's where it ends. So much in this episode was just absolutely insane. And the fact that we're only halfway through is bonkers. Where are we going to what are we seeing coming up? What do you think we're going to see coming up? Now that Angela knows who Dexter Morgan really is.
I will say that I like Deb in this a lot because she's kind of more playing his conscience, not like angel versus devil, but you're an idiot versus logical reasoning. Like she's still got that logical part that she's trying to get Dexter to realize, but yet she's still going to call him an idiot and yell at him.
I mean, that's the Deb way of going about it. She's very to the point. What did you think of this cameo from Angel?
Oh, I loved it. Because he just kind of comes in like a wrecking ball. Like Dexter thought he had gotten away with all this, and I think Batista's here to ruin it.
Right. It's going to be interesting, especially to see like what does Angela do having this information? How does she go about confronting Dexter about it? Is it going to be like aggressive, or is it going to kind of be, a kind of like, for instance, Dexter was never convicted or arrested for being the Bay Harbor Butcher, which Angel talks about in his little speech during this conference. They talk about him, but they don't talk about who it was. And he even states, like, he talks about how Dexter was like a good cop. Like he was good at his job. It was sad that both brother and sister passed away at that time. So I feel not, Angela only having the facts that Jim Lindsay is just Dexter Morgan and not that he's a serial killer also, that he's been accused of being a serial killer. It might be more of a, why did you do that? Like, what's going on? Why, what really happened?
Yeah. Like, what story is he going to concoct to get out of it?
I'm also intrigued to see how Harrison plays into the whole thing now that he is kind of closer to Kurt. I don't think Kurt goes after women. At least that's what we've seen in this.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the two women that we see in the show. It's also women. I think a lot of the women that Angela has been trying to find. That's what Kurt, I think.
That was my epiphany. Cause you hear him, you hear Batista say to her that the serial killer, not serial killer, but missing person usually all have one thing that connects them. And Angela's telling him what she knows about the girls, and he's like, well, that doesn't have anything in common, but I like your drive. What if it is Kurt?
Right.
Because they're all runaways. That's what he picks at. Because I was sitting there thinking, I was like, how many times has he done this? Because he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's not his first time.
Nope.
The first girl was not his first time.
Absolutely not.
So do all these girls
end up going there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're running away. Because she says she's doing it because of her best friend. She watched her walk down the street and she disappeared.
It's crazy. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do with like where Kurt goes. Also, where does Harrison play into this? Is he like which direction is he going to go in? Is he going to be the one to be the end of Kurt? Is he going to join Kurt and the fucked up things you're doing? Or is he, is Dexter going to bring Harrison into what he does? Like, where is Harrison going to go from here? And I think that is the most intriguing thing for me. It's not about what happens with Dexter, even though that's, I think, the whole point of the show was what is going to happen to Dexter at the end of the series, because as we all know, as of right now, this is a one-off. This is a 10-episode thing to end the Dexter Morgan saga. But you introduced Harrison back into the fold, and you give him such a crazy arc where you're like, shit, now I'm more interested in what's going to go on with him. As much as I am interested in Dexter, Harrison and Dexter are like neck and neck right now. I'm like, holy shit, where is this all going to go? And we only have 5 episodes left to figure it out.
Oh, I know. But see, you know a lot about Dexter. So to introduce this prominent character that is, you're learning his story more and more and more, and seeing his character progression more and more, I think it kind of draws you in like, ooh, it could be interesting.
Right.
But you've still got, Dexter's still there. So, you're still interested in him. But
right.
You're like, I want to see what's going on over here.
Right. Oh, well, I think that'll do it for this week's episode of Slice of TV. I'm so excited for next week. This has been a long episode. This is probably our longest episode so far, but this actually, the episode itself, I think, was the longest episode of the season. So it was a lot to digest, a lot to talk about. So I hope you all enjoy it. I want to thank everybody who leaves the amazing comments on our videos. Thank you so much for interacting with the show and coming up with your own theories and hypotheses. So we are going to be, we're going to have our podcast episode releasing this Friday. That it will be a Nightmare Before Christmas. Angela's pick for Christmas for the month of December. And of course, this will be released on Wednesday. And then we'll be back next week to go over episode 6 of Dexter New Blood. So
can't wait.
Can't wait to talk about it. Just remember, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are at 70, as of right now, 71 subs on YouTube. Come on, people, 29 more. We get our URL. So thank you so much for all the love and support you guys have showed on the channel. This show is also on podcast services, so make sure if you can't watch it on YouTube, you can download it on your favorite podcast services. Until next time, I am Brett Parker. That is Angela from DNA Gaming, and this is Dissect That Film. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.